Hi, my name is Jen, and today I just want to talk about how cooking can be a fun and rewarding experience. And just some of the tips that I have found that have been really useful to me, and some tips that I found on the internet that are also useful. And just to let you know, some of the information that I received on the internet was one of them was from the United States Healthful Food Council, cookingmatters.org, and unnaturalnutrition.com. And this one statistic I read on the internet from the United States Healthful Food Council is that obesity has been a big concern in the last couple decades in the United States. So cooking your own food at home, you have control over the ingredients that you put in your food and the calories that you put in. So it's much better for you than going out to eat all the time and buying food in a store that's been prepared in a factory. So I think you would find that useful information. First thing we're going to talk about is, a recipe, how you follow a recipe, what one looks like in case you've never looked at one. And second, we're going to talk about how to get organized in the kitchen, some tips that I have found that have been very useful for me. And third, I just wanted to talk about some things that I like to have in my kitchen that I have found that I use over and over again, and just some things you might like to buy. Okay, so looking at a recipe, I just wanted to show you one of my favorite recipes, which is a meatloaf. And I've used this over and over again. I've had it for years and years, and it's very simple to make. This recipe, most recipes will have the ingredients at top, and down the bottom has all the steps for your recipe. Your ingredients are usually in order by when they go in your recipe. So if you set up your table with everything in order, it makes it so much more easier to get your recipe going and more quickly that you get it on the table. So before you start your recipe, you want to look over your ingredients and make sure that you have everything. That might sound silly, but I can't tell you how many times that I have tried to start a recipe thinking I had eggs or milk and I didn't, and it's very frustrating. So look over your recipe and make sure you have all your ingredients, and just make sure you have utensils like a mixing spoon and the right size bowl. So that's very important too. So some things you can do to get organized in your kitchen before you start your recipe. And one of these tips I found on naturalnutrition.com is if you can try to prepare any of your ingredients ahead of time, anything that needs to be chopped or diced like onions and mushrooms, or mixed like eggs, to try to do that ahead of time. It'll just save you a lot of time. And then something I read on cookingmatters.org about involving your families in cooking is wonderful if you can do it. If anybody in your family has interest, it just brings your family closer together, and your meal is enjoyed even more with your family when they get to prepare it with you. So you'll find it before you start cooking, you'll find it less stressful to have your ingredients lined up in order as they go in the recipe, which I like to do. And it makes everything go so much more smoothly. And some spices and ingredients that I like to have in my kitchen that I use all the time, like garlic powder and onion powder, salt and pepper. Those are some ingredients I use all the time, and seasoned salt. And some things that I like to have in my kitchen, that I do have in my kitchen, that you might find useful is an electric mixer, a food processor, which isn't a necessity, but it's very helpful sometimes. A frying pan. I have like a nonstick frying pan that's wonderful that I use all the time, and a saucepan. And also some, excuse me, wooden spoons and containers to put your leftovers in. Those are just a few things. I'm sure there's many others, but those are some things that I find very useful. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. Cooking really can be a fun and rewarding experience if you try to plan ahead of time, and it'll just make it such an enjoyable experience for you. And follow a recipe is so important. Don't try to wing it and just think you can make something on your own. Try to follow a recipe, and then after you're more experienced, you can go off on your own. But thank you for looking, and you have a wonderful day.